Hello, welcome to Breakaway with Dawn and Friends. I am back, and I am back with none other, Miss Claudia.
It's so good to be here with you. Thank you for having me today. Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, thank you. I'm excited. It has been a long minute,
It has.
and I'm excited to be back. And of course, I have to come back with you. So thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope I feel a little rusty just thinking about recording right now. So let's see how this goes. But a lot has been happening, a lot has been going on. And I'm gonna be honest, I just have been tired. I haven't had it in me to give because I do feel, I hope people understand that, this is for me. It's a form of therapy and I enjoy it. And that's why I miss you so much. And I'm excited to do this. But, this is my way of trying to share my light and give back. And, you know, as easy as hard people may think this is, it's not easy to carve out the time and press record.
I agree. And you know what, Don? I think I really appreciate the transparency and you coming in and starting off with that just because you're really, I think, honoring what you're feeling and you're saying, you know what, I wasn't quite there, right? My bucket wasn't full, so I can't give to others right now. So I'm going to take a step back. And I think that's awesome. Um I really appreciate you saying that.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm not going to lie, it was hard and I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't, it was unplanned. It wasn't even it just happened that way. And so, for me, every day's a new day. It honestly is. And, I let myself feel good, bad, ugly, whatever. But I try very hard not to let my feelings impact my actions, even though I have not recorded. I didn't, like you said, my cup was just depleted. And I couldn't get on here unless I can be myself and give you guys the best of me, you know? So,
Mhm.
I just took a step back. Work has been a lot, home life has been a lot. Nothing bad, just everyday stuff, you know? So, I'm excited. So,
Yes, let's
thank you
do
for
this.
understanding and giving me that grace. So, hopefully people miss us, and we'll enjoy what I have to bring. So, I wanted to discuss with you, Claudia, relationships in general. And this could be with your spouse, your in-laws, your friends, cuz family members, whatever, like friendships, everything. Like we all have relationships one way or the other. And so I have been through some interesting situations recently in life with family and friends, extended family and friends, and just talking out loud and working through things as you should as adults. Um, I caught myself explaining myself to a friend and telling her, like, this is what it is right now for me, right? And I'm okay with where things are. I need you to be okay with where things are because for all these years, I've sat in the front seat, and right now I don't choose to be in the front seat, right? So when we had this conversation, it was just like a light bulb went off because we all have different relationships with people, and I feel the reason why people struggle, regardless of who the other end is, who, regardless of the relationship on the other end, who it is, right? Spouse, in-law, family, friend. I don't think people really see the relationship for what it is, and then they can't show up and be what they need to be. And I hope this is making sense. Like, so I don't care what relationship it is. My opinion is nothing is ever equal.
Right. You know what? I really I like that you're saying that because I think you're right. I know ultimately we tell ourselves, right, when
Hmm.
we start a relationship or we're in a relationship with a family member or whatnot, where we think, oh, it's equal. I give to you, you give back to me in the same
Hmm.
way. And that's not necessarily true, right?
No,
For most of,
right,
depending on the circumstances. But yeah, I'd like to agree with you on this, Don.
right. And to elaborate, like for instance, like I can be someone's best friend, but they're not my best friend. And it's so funny when I started to tell people, like, and this is honestly someone from a few years ago. So this person is currently not in my life. And I've always said it, no, like I'm not to her what she is to me. Like, I'm okay with that, and I know that, but she needs to accept that, right? Like, and so it did bother that person, but it's like, why? I'm there for you. I am who you need me to be. I don't go to you for the same things you come to me for. Like, so I remember people thinking like, God, like what I don't that's not mean. That's not like I just felt like if that person could have recognized that, we could have had a better friendship and we'd probably still be friends today.
Sure. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and just like when you think of your marriage, like, yeah, people like to say things need to be 50-50, assuming that they're not old fashioned, right? But even in old fashioned, like again, what I'm putting out and what I'm giving to you, you don't necessarily give to me. So with me, I'm okay with that in my relationships. But I think the other end is not always.
Right. And you know what, Don? I think it really takes, I don't want to say it takes experience. I want to say maybe the the variety of relationships that you go through in life, I think tend to shape eventually how we think, right? Like there's an opportunity that we all have, but it's a level of maybe emotional connection, maturity. I don't know what to call it, where one needs to go through and experience all these different relationship types so that you can then make sense of
Recognize.
it and say,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
recognize."
yeah.
Exactly.
But I do wonder too though, is, how much do you know yourself? That's the thing, right? And how comfortable are you with yourself, right? So like when I had this quick conversation with her, I was like, look, like flat out what I am to you, I love being that person for you. That's what I get out of this. But in this very moment, that's not what you are to me. I'm okay with that. I need you to be okay with that, right? Like I just feel that's very like mature and adult like of myself and for that person to receive it. Do you know what I mean? Like I really walked away like, I love that she was able to receive that because, it sounds more harsh than what it really is, but it just made me think, wow, I think if people would just take the time to recognize that and you know what I mean? And like, I guess maybe connect those dots. Like I said, you can have a more healthier relationship, right? So, um, I know when it comes to in-laws, it's very it's more difficult because there's just and even family, like in-laws or family, it's like you just have this expectation. And I honestly I wonder with being middle child and having middle child syndrome, you
Mhm.
know, I
Yeah.
wonder like was is it easier for me because of that?
Oh, that's a good thought. I wonder if it is because you grew up in a environment where being the middle child, you'd have to make adjustments, right?
Mhm,
You weren't
mhm,
necessarily the eldest, so you weren't treated like the
mhm,
eldest, you weren't the youngest,
mhm,
you can't be treated as a
mhm.
young. So then
Right?
you kind of conform, adjust,
Yeah,
accept,
right?
maybe. Yeah,
Isn't it? And I just right now just thought of it like, huh, well, is it easier for me because of the fact that I have middle child syndrome and I had to find and know my place,
right. Right.
right?
And that too, I think you said something earlier where maybe it's how much you know yourself. Because I
Yes.
really that takes taking that into consideration when we really hone in on our own needs, then
Mhm.
we don't tend to potentially look out to others to fulfill those needs,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I wonder if again in relationships is I can only give you this much, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if I have to exceed giving you that much emotionally, then it becomes a little taxing to me,
Right.
emotionally. And I don't know that I can fulfill that for you. Right?
Yep. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
powerful, isn't it?
it
Like
is
it's so I want to share this because I feel that people don't sit back and reflect on that. Like, okay, like honestly, let me tell you, everyone knows if you've listened to me, blood is not thicker than water for me. Okay. So it is loyalty for me is the thing that matters the most. It's not blood and it's not family. I'm sorry, it's not. But my selective family members is different
Mhm.
because I have selected you to be my family because of your loyalty to me and how you show up for me.
Right.
Like
Right.
that family, not
Right.
my DNA. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I understand that that's hard for people to hear. And, you know, I need to be respected for that, Claudia. And that's where my boundaries are, right? Like Like, this is me. This is what life has dealt for me. And this has been my experience. This is how I compartmentalize, how I survived, whatever you want to chalk it up to be, right? Like, what matters to me today is loyalty. How are you showing up to me? Let me tell you, I have family members I haven't spoken to for years because you don't want to show up the right way. I don't have time for you. You're not in this bubble that I have created. And I keep listening to things. It's so funny how you put it out there. You know how they say what you put out.
Right.
And I keep listening, and I'm like podcasts, right? And I hear these things and they talk about like energy. I really, really believe in it. Like energy and not just manifestation, all that, but it's like your brain is like a muscle. Sorry. Yeah, your brain. But your mind is
Mm.
separate from your
Two
brain.
different things. Yes.
Girl. Like, I
Yes.
think I knew that, but I don't think people make that connection. And guess what your mind drives off of? Your
Your energy.
energy. Like, it was like,
Mind
whoa,
blowing.
it blew
Yes.
my mind. Like, oh my goodness. So, Jay Shetty, who was it? I'm like, it was Jay
Yes.
Shetty, Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins was talking,
Over-
or one of them
Mhm.
was
Yes.
talking
It
to
might have
someone
been,
else,
I think it might have been both. I don't know. I think you're right. Mel Robbins and
right?
Jason. Yes.
Yes, but because I listened to them a lot, but it was one of their guests that, oh my, I was like blown away, and I was like, wow, that makes such sense, you know? And so when I tell people, and it's so true, like when I tell people I have this bubble, you know, and you're not gonna pop it, like I'm very protective of this bubble. And it's for me. Like I feel the older you get, the less patience I have for certain things, you know?
True.
And so, and life is too short. And I'm gonna I have to share this, but when I was a little younger, like I've always worked in a field where people are much older than me, right? So I would be like, wow, that's so sad. You don't talk to that family member, or wow, that's so sad. Like it used to like devastate me, but not by any means because I had such great relationships. It was just like, wow, like how can you not, whatever, right? Now, oh, do I get it? Like I'm okay. So, um, I find it interesting that, you know, you can spend 20 something years with someone and you have experiences, they know you, and yet, you know, something can happen,
Yeah.
and what you value, what you respect, what matters to you can go out the window for whatever reasons they may have. But it's like, I'm sorry, like at this stage of my life right now, if you can't respect my values, if you can't respect me as a person, if you can't acknowledge what matters to me, then what do you expect from me?
Right. Right. No, and I think you're on point when you talk about that because there comes a point in your life, right, where you start to, it is true what they say, you it's not the amount of
Mhm,
friends or relationships that you have in your
mhm,
life, right, that are meaning, but it's not the amount, it's the people and the connection that you do have. So you could have a very close net of individuals, a network of individuals, and it can only be three people or two people, and you're fulfilled with those
yes,
relationships, with those
yes,
friendships, right?
mhm,
Versus having maybe 20 contact. Do you really, like, let's think about this. If you're on social media, you have 138 followers.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
Do you really genuinely know those 138 people?
right?
Like genuinely?
Mhm,
No, you really don't. So
no,
I think going back to that is as you get older, we start to maybe reassess and realign ourselves with people who do respect our values, right? Like you said,
mhm,
who respect my morals, who respect my values, and not overstep their boundaries and nor
mhm,
allow yourself to overstep that so that you can continue to cultivate, right? Close relationships with those that
yes,
matter the most to
yes.
you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, like, it for me, it's sad, but, like, it doesn't matter to me your connection to me. If you're my mom, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't respect my boundaries, if you can't respect how I choose to value myself and my life, sorry, mom. You know, that's just an example, right? So, a sister, sorry, girl. Like, I mean, I have cut people off in my life for lesser things. So, you know, if I can cut people off for lesser things, why do you think not valuing what I value? Again, that doesn't mean you have to agree with me. It doesn't mean that you have to like. these things. It's
Right.
just we should have a certain level of respect
Yes.
and loyalty that,
Yes.
okay, this is something that matters to her. This is something that, will trigger her. Let me respect that.
Absolutely. And again, that takes a level, I genuinely feel that that takes a level of emotional maturity to be able to recognize that,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
then you're going to find yourself, for those that have a difficult time identifying those things, they are probably not the self-awareness could be
Mhm.
missing there. And maybe
Mhm.
because it's difficult for them, maybe because they
I
don't know
know.
anything more outside of that, right?
Maybe, Claudia, but this is funny, okay? So, obviously, I'm talking about something specific, which without trying to be too specific, right? But this is so funny, okay? So, this is what I'm talking about, not someone not valuing or respecting, my values, my traditions, my beliefs, or whatever. Has been going on for quite for a minute, okay? And so it's just funny how I can sit back and reflect, okay, what's my part? What am I doing? Whatever, right? So that's the podcast. I was listening to this, and this was definitely Jay Shetty. Oh my goodness, his recent one with Mel Robbins. He
Hmm.
said the what he learned from one of the monks is this: we judge people on their actions, but judge ourselves on our intentions.
Mm.
Girl, when he said that, I was like, "Oh, crap." Right? So true. But this is
Very
the funny part. If I break down my situation that I have for you in a private setting, right?
true.
It wasn't the action that I had the issue with. It was the intention that bothered me. And I don't know if you picked up on that because I feel like I had said that. It's like, oh no, but you do know better. So you doing that, that's your intention. Like, you know what you're doing to me. You know this is going to trigger me. You know this is going to bother me. So I am 100% judging, faulting, whatever you want to call it, that person for their intention. And the funny part is, when you see it black and white, it doesn't seem like a big deal. What's the big deal? It's just this. Well, honey, it's
Mhm.
your intention. And so I was so proud when he said that because I was not judging that person for their actions. It was truly for that person's intentions because you know damn well how I feel about this. I have been consistent through and through. This is my boundary, this is my trigger, like this is what it is. And when you deliberately go against that, I have nothing for you, right? So, I was so proud when he said people should actually judge people on their intention and not so much their action. But doesn't that align with, and I thought about it later, doesn't that align with um kind of align with how they say God knows your heart, like he judges you on your heart. So he doesn't judge you on the actions, the sins that you do every day. How pure is your heart? And I was like, it just resonated with me, right?
Mhm. Wow.
Well, they do. I hope I'm tying this all together and why I wanted to talk about relationships and how there's different levels and, take the time to assess and evaluate. If you're struggling with someone right now, look at the relationship. It's okay not to be equal. Like, I don't have to be as invested as you are, and or vice versa. I don't need you to be as invested. So, like, my husband, like, for 20 years, like, griped about one of my friends, and I'm like, look, why does it bother you? She's my friend, like, and I don't let him, like, sway me.
Influence you
Yeah,
or persuade you. Yeah.
I'm like, why does that bother you? Like, I'm okay with that. I know what I am to her. And I'm like, I love being that person for her. Like, but I don't need her to be that for me. So, but he would get mad because ultimately I get it. Like, well, she's not showing up the way she should be. But you have to understand, I accept people for who they are. And I understand her. I know her and I love her for her. Right. So when she doesn't measure up to his argument, like, or whatever, like to his point,
To his point.
right, to his point, right? It's like, well, I'm not surprised because I know who and what I'm dealing with, and I wouldn't expect that from her. Like, but that's not going to stop me from showing up
For
for
her.
her a hundred
Mhm.
percent. Like, I don't
Sure.
know why. And then even my other friend felt the same way, and I was like, you guys, if I don't have an issue, you shouldn't have an issue with that. And I always tell my husband, honey, that's why we're still together. I'm sorry, because if I wasn't this way, we would not be together. Like, you have to know this. Like, so isn't it funny how it all ties together? Like, I have been able to, acknowledge, like, okay, or recognize my place in your friendship and your place in with mine, right? And then, I am very much on the intentions and not so much the actions, because I've been misunderstood a lot. And I think that's why I feel that I have that level of compassion, understanding, is because I can be misunderstood. And yeah, this is, you see the out of me, but that's not my intention.
Right. Right. And you know what? I think it takes, I mean, obviously you recognizing this and hopefully others can relate to this situation or this suggestion that you're providing, because it's true. I think we go into a relationship thinking, okay, what I give to you, you give exactly back to me. And I think that's when relationships rupture, right? Or friendships rupture, because you don't have that, rather than, okay, this is what I'm able to provide to you. You're my best friend, but however, I'm not, wait, you're my best friend. I see you as my best friend, but
Uh-huh. No, I'm
yeah,
your
but
best friend. I'm your best friend, but you're not
yes,
mine.
exactly, exactly. So a lot of times in society, I think, just think about it. It stems from probably elementary. It's like, this
Mhm,
is for you. Well, maybe not elementary because everybody's your best friend, but maybe as you transition and progress in
mhm.
life in the different stages, is the minute you hold on to that idea, right? Or that you're my best friend, then it's an automatic for you to think that that person sees you exactly the same way,
Right,
right? When
right.
that's not necessarily the case. And
No,
that's okay, like you said. But it
yes,
takes a level of maturity to recognize, okay, it's okay. I'm not your best friend, but you're mine. That's okay. But you're still going to show up for me. Right. And
exactly.
yes, yes, yes,
Right,
yes.
right. And so now I know that this might be like, people are like, what? And trying to like figure this out. This is the
That's
way I
okay.
see it. The way I can help you, help help you help yourself, or whatever, is this. What attracts you to this person? Like, what do you like about this person? Right? Because no one can argue that, there's different levels of friendships, and even us as people, there's different levels to us, right? So when you look at, this is what like, for instance, there's some friends that can just bring the energy
Mhm.
out of me, like bring that goodness, like bring that, like, and that's why I like having that friend. That's why I like being that friend, like with that friend. But if it's going to come to something deep, I may not go to that person for that, because that's not what I need you for. Right. And so I would suggest, okay, when you reflect on your friendship or that person, that your relationship, what is it that drew you to that person? And that's how you can understand, this is what I appreciate in that person. And this is what, like, I'm receiving from that. I don't need to receive all of you. And I feel that if you can do that, like, you can have a better friendship, relationship.
I love that. I remember this is applicable to a friend, a family
Yes.
member, whatever relationship it is that you're, counting on, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I think it's good you're simplifying it so that, because it can get, I know we're going into deep, and it may be a bit confusing to for
Yes.
others to understand, but ultimately is like you said, take a step back and reassess or reevaluate, whatever you want to call it. Why is this person in my life? Right?
Hmm.
Do I want to continue to have this person in my life? What do they bring to me that brings me joy, that wants me to continue to have that connection with them?
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that the beauty of a relationships, Don, is that we all have relationships for different things, for different reasons, right? How many of us at times we have, okay, let's get together with a group of friends. And then you start going through your list of friends and you think, oh, wait a minute. Well, I know that they can connect. I can connect with this person on this. And then what gets in the way sometimes is you try to reevaluate how your friends would get along with others, but that doesn't matter. Ultimately, if you are the person hosting this event and you want everybody to come together, each one of those individuals bring something to the table that helps you
Yes.
maintain this friendship or relationship,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I've been told a number of times, like, when I put things together, like, it's a vibe.
Hmm.
And these are people that don't necessarily mingle outside
Hmm.
of me.
Sure.
They usually just mingle when I bring them together, right? and they have a good time. And it's because I'm very selective, and I have somehow, one way or the other, have connected with these people, right? And but different levels of me. So the way I see it is, you know, even though you and I, Claudia, connect on one thing, you receive me, you receive all of me, right? Like you're like, I'm in it for all of it, right? But
Right.
we connect on a different level. So if you accept me for me, when I have that friend where I'm connecting on a level that I don't connect with you on, but you can still appreciate that in me, so you're gonna appreciate that in that person. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, that makes
Right?
sense.
So recently, so I heard, and this is funny, and I haven't shared this with you yet, but two separate people told me that my friends are not so nice. And I was like,
Mm.
"What? How are my friends not nice?" And I was like, "That's not true." So the first person that told me, like, she is the nicest, sweetest person, and we've been friends since we were like 15, right? So I was like, "There's no way my friends that I have brought you around are not nice to you, right?" But what she meant was like, I guess like if she when she comes around, because she's very reserved and quiet, so if she doesn't interact with you guys,
Mhm.
there's no interaction. So she doesn't feel
Mm.
very welcomed by my friends. But she shows up with a smile on
Mm.
her face.
Mhm.
She's there for me. Like, I've never, like, I would have never picked up on any of that if she didn't say that, right? So
Yeah.
only because she said that to me, I was like, interesting. But I guess I can see it because at the end of the day, you guys have to understand. Most of you guys, most of my friends are reserved. I'm the one that's not, right? So if you guys are reserved, I don't expect you guys to really open up to each other, right? Like, so I kind of told her, well, girl, you're just as reserved as they are. So one of you has to break the ice. But I get
Right.
it. If you're always the one, I get it. But at the end of the day, it that day's about me. Whatever I'm bringing you to that event, it's about me, right?
Right.
So then a week or two after, I have another friend randomly tell me someone told her, "Oh, you're going to her birthday, or like you're going to that?" Like, her friends, they're not so nice to me. I'm like, and now I would have thrown that crap out the window if I didn't just hear this from a trusted friend. And I
Right.
said, "Oh wow." I said, "Well, these two people that have said that are even more quiet than my everyday friends or whatever, right?" Like, so I think people should be nicer with their words. Do you know what I mean? And not say that my friends are not nice. I think you can. And then when I said not nice, then she said, "Well, maybe they're not as welcoming. They're not open." The first one, right? So I said,
There you
"Okay, I
go.
get it. Okay, fine."
Okay.
But the second one was just like, "Oh, they're not nice. They're mean to me." No, my friends are not. I'm sorry. You're my friend, yes, but who you're wrong. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But I had a point in bringing that out. I don't remember why, but I
Okay.
did have a point in bringing that out. But um, I can't remember right now.
That's okay. That's okay
Forgive me.
because we got I know we got a little we deviated a little bit, but it's still connected because you're talking about friendships, you're talking about again having different circles of friends or different I guess connections with different
Mhm,
people, but when you
mhm,
come together, then somehow you at times make them connect or not. That's okay,
mhm,
you know.
mhm.
But they show up for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the ultimate message, I think.
Yeah, and I feel that what we're talking about, Claudia, it can be difficult for people to deal with and have these conversations, but I think people need to accept that in order to grow and to have growth, it gets messy, it's uncomfortable, it's not pleasant. It's not, and that's okay. Like, so have that difficult conversation. Get a little messy. Like, at the end of the day, if your intentions are pure, and if you know if you stick to this is what I want to get out of it, you can get through a difficult conversation. And I think people don't know how to have them. And I think, you have to listen more than you speak. You need to acknowledge. You don't have to validate. I don't feel you have to validate, but you have to acknowledge their feelings, right? And then you can then go from there. But those are the two things that you have to do at first in order to get through it.
I love that. That's a great suggestion and advice that you're giving because that's the truth is get messy and get uncomfortable because without that you're not growing and you're going to continue to remain stagnant in your connection that you have, you know?
Right. And just like, we all say marriage takes work, but I think people undervalue, so does friendships, so does your family relationships, so do your in-law relationships, and so it's, what is the end goal here? What is it that you want? And I think if you can stay true to that, then you can get somewhere. So I just felt, considering my recent experiences, recent conversations, um, we all have relationships one way or the other, whether it's with family, friends, or spouses. We all have relationships, and people are complex. We are so
We are.
right. Life is not black and white. Things are not. So, it does get muddy, it does get dirty, but the two big takeaways is, try to understand the intention. So I did post on that. So, and it was funny. I don't know if you saw it, but I did. I got inspired because I have not been posting either, by the way. And so I had a conversation that day, both personally and professionally, okay? Because, I can tell you, Claudia, it has not been easy working with this new generation and the silent quitting. Like, it is a real thing, girl. Like, and this
It
is
is.
why, like, at the end of the day, I'm drained because there's just so much going on. So, whether it's personal or professional, I have been dealing with people in this regard, right? And so, I have shared before that I love my reality TV, my housewives. Like, you have to understand, like, I love, just my mind turns off and I'm in someone else's, like, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And it's human behavior. I look at it from that perspective. Like,
Right.
but anyway, so the girl was going on saying how, oh, you had nothing to say when, you know, or I had no, so whatever. The girl was talking about one girl, and then finally, when the other person has something to say, she's like, "Oh, now you want to have something to say. Now you want to talk to me. Now you want to do this, right?" So then the friend says, "Yeah, people are quick to talk about the reaction and not the action." Oh, girl, I about fell out my feet. I was like, "Have I not been saying this?
Oh
Ha-
my
I was,
goodness.
have I not been just saying this?" Like, and I was like, "Oh my God, like, it is so true." So I just felt the need to share that. Like, reactions sometimes are confirmation. And so the situation I'm in at work and
Mhm.
personally, okay, is the fact that people are harping or looking at my reaction to something, but not the action that took us to get there.
Right. Ah,
So
oh,
I had posted, like, and again, I have not judged them on their actions. I have judged them on what I believe their intentions were, right? So
yeah.
let's just be clear there. But I'm being judged on my actions, right? Or my reactions to something, right? So then my next one was, let's talk about the action before discussing the reaction,
Yes. Very good. I love it.
right? Let's take it back to the beginning, people.
Right.
So I just, things can be complicated. And so I just thought this is a very relatable subject. And how can I get it out there the best way to be received, but then also offer, some breakaway tips, you know what I mean? So I thought this would be a good um return
I
return
like
episode
it.
like that. You know what I mean? Right?
Return. You're coming in strong. I love it. Very
Yes.
inspired. Yes.
Yes. So keep pushing, keep shining, keep thriving.